In this part, I'm looking at the media response to the case of Adam. He's an 18-year-old who was charged with 13 counts of the Bushfire Offence. He was refused bail at Maitland Local Court in August 2023. There was media in court. There were multiple TV and print stories that came out on the same day. So some of the headlines were: volunteer firefighter refused bail over deliberately lit bushfire charges. Another, Hunter Valley fires. Name of a social media platform. Emerges of volunteer firefighter, Adam's real name. 18, charged with lighting ferocious blazes. Like the defendant's name, I'm choosing to withhold brands, but why I included this one is what's happening here is that there is allegedly some evidence from a social media platform that is part of this story. Images are mostly from the police video of the arrest, the footage of Adam's family member outside court, and images taken from Adam's social media account. As you can see from the headlines, Adam has experienced fighting fires. I feel that there are missed opportunities with the narrative on this case so far. By the way, it's mostly left up to the media now to tell the story. What I mean is I feel that there could have been a stronger voice in the following aspects. First, that the police actually got enough evidence to charge someone. Who knew they'd been busily working away over the past couple of months? The fact that they got to this point is a milestone because we have so many bushfires and such a small number of people charged. I think it's important to hear about policing. Yes, it is mentioned in the stories. However, I think there should have been more emphasis. That's just my opinion. Second, I felt that there should have been more discussion on how the courts are dealing with this. Meaning explaining how the court is handling it in a way so all that work by the police leads to fair legal proceedings. How has the court put measures in place to reduce the risk of reoffending? Remember, we are edgy, it's dry, and we are entering summer. What's in place to reduce the risk? Yes, there are details given in the stories, however, I felt that should have been more front and centre. I felt there was an opportunity to inform and manage expectations of the non-legal community about legal proceedings at this point in time. I felt there was a lot of other information that distracted from the main point of what this court mention was about. I want to give my opinion on 3 things about the media coverage. First, I disagree with the use of the image of Adam and his deceased family member. The photo is from Adam's social media account. In the bail application, Adam's life circumstances were discussed in open court. Adam's solicitor mentioned some tragic circumstances. If this goes to trial or sentencing, we might hear more about this as part of Adam's defence. But at this stage, it's my opinion that the circumstances should have been reported in a different way and not used the image of the deceased person. After listening to the life circumstances in court, you become aware of other family members around the defendant, and I would argue that there should be a level of privacy established for those people. Second, I disagree with reporting the name of the brigade that Adam has a connection with. Actually, I strongly disagree naming the brigade. I think the matter will have an impact on the reputation of firefighting, regardless. From what I can see, there is no evidence that the fire service or the brigade that was named lit the actual fires. The naming of the individual brigade I don't think is necessary in telling the story of the legal proceedings. Thanks to the internet, it was actually really easy to find out which brigade. But in finding that out, you also find that there are heaps of other people attached to this brigade, and they're doing heaps of volunteering. I think their story and their behaviour is different to the alleged offending of an individual. Third, I felt the way that Adam's case was packaged in the stories influenced me to start to make a judgment about Adam and draw conclusions about the legal proceedings. What I mean is it was presented as crime, maximum sentence, and why he did it, when the reality is the case is far from a conclusion. This is just day 1 of the legal proceedings. Proceedings that could last for 1 to 2 years, so it's too soon to draw conclusions. 6 days later, Adam, who was still in custody, submits another bail application and is dealt with at Maitland Local Court. The court will consider another application, but only under certain grounds. I'm clearly not watching the court list closely enough, and I missed the matter and it wasn't in court. I noticed the media reports don't discuss the grounds either. So I'm going to take a bit of a guess of what the grounds might have been. It could have been that material information relevant to the granting of bail was presented to the court that was not presented last time. It could have been that circumstances relevant to the granting of bail have changed since the last time. Perhaps more stricter bail conditions were proposed to mitigate the risks, which was the issue last time. The papers report that bail was granted. The papers also mention some of the bail conditions. Adam is now under house arrest and money will be forfeited if he breaches bail. The case will return to court next week.